Okay, so on that worksheet for 1-3 that you're doing, you said you needed help with page 17. So, on questions 1 through 4, the easiest way to do this is just to graph out the lines. So get some graph paper, and like if it gives you the x-intercept, that's where you cross the x-intercept. If it gives you the y-intercept, it's where you cross the y. So just basically make 2 points, and then with a straight edge, whether it be a ruler or whatever, draw those 2 points. And then from that, you can identify the slope and the y-intercept. So remember, we're going to put this in y equals mx plus b formula, where m is the slope, and then b is the y-intercept. Okay, so I think if you graph those 4, this should be pretty easy for you, assuming you know how to understand y equals mx plus b. All right, so question 6 and question 9 are a little bit difficult. So for your homework, I told you guys to do 5 and 8, to skip 6 and 7 and 9 and 10. So number 6 is very similar to number 5, so I figured I'd go over number 6 with you and then let you try number 5 on your own. All right, so it says line 7x plus 2y equals 8 and 8x plus 4y equals 11, and it tells us that they are parallel. All right, now if they're parallel, that means they have the same slope. Okay, so you should have learned that back in middle school. I know we reviewed it last year in geometry as well. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write this equation, or I guess rewrite this equation into y equals mx plus b form. So 7x plus 2y equals 8. I want y by itself, so minus 7x minus 7x. So I'm left with 2y equals negative 7x plus 8. And then if I divide everything by 2, okay, I'm left with y equals negative 7x plus 8 over 2. Now when I do this, this is the same thing as negative 7 halves x plus 8 over 2 is just 4. Okay, so as you can see, my slope is negative 7 over 2. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this the same way I did this, except the x won't have a coefficient. Okay, so let me switch colors here. Minus ax on both sides, minus ax on both sides. I get 4y equals ax plus, negative ax plus 11. Okay, so divide by 4. Divide by 4, those go away. So I'm left with y equals negative ax plus 11 over 4, which is the same thing as negative a over 4x plus 11 over 4. Okay, so remember, they have to have the same slope, and in this particular equation, negative a over 4 is the slope. Okay, so negative a over 4, in order for these to be parallel, has to equal negative a over 4 has to equal negative 7 over 2. And remember, when we do these, we just cross multiply. Okay, so I'm left with negative 7 times 4 is negative 28 equals negative 2a. Divide by negative 2. I get 14 equals a. So it's going to be the same concept on number 5. All right, so this is kind of well, this is the same process. The only difference is that we want the lines to be perpendicular. So if you recall from middle school and last year in geometry, perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, so for example, if one of the slopes is 4 over 7, to be perpendicular, the other one's slope has to be the opposite of that, which is negative, and reciprocal would just be 7 over 4. So 4, 7, and negative 7 over 4 would be opposite reciprocals. Okay, so it's going to be the same process. Okay, so we're going to take this equation here, I'm going to put it in terms of y equals, so minus 4x on both sides, minus 4x. I'm left with negative 3y equals negative 4x plus 10. Okay, divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. Those go away. I'm left with y equals negative 4 over negative 3 is just a positive 4/3 x minus 10/3. Okay, so the slope here is 4/3. Okay, so to be perpendicular to this, my opposite reciprocal of this has to be negative 3/4. Okay, so I want the slope of this to be negative 3/4. Okay, so do the same process here. So subtract the ax on both sides. I'm left with 4y equals negative ax plus 7. Divide by 4, divide by 4. Those go away. I'm left with y equals negative a over 4x plus 7. Okay, so recall I want this to have a negative 3/4 slope. Well, right now it's negative a over 4. So negative 3/4 has to equal negative a/4. Cross multiply. I get negative 4a equals a negative 12. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. My a here has to equal 3. Okay, so that is how you would do number 8. I hope this helps.